Okay, guys. Hey, we're back. So we had technical difficulties earlier. I am going to add Lynn now. Attempt to add our RN coach, health coach, Lynn. Let's get Lynn added. Invite. Okay, Lynn, you've been invited. I just added Lynn. Hope you guys are able to come back. It's one thing, technology is phenomenal and amazing, but when it doesn't always work. Okay. All right. Added Lynn in there. Okay, Lynn, I sent it to you. Make sure if you guys are watching part 2 that you go back and watch the first part. We didn't get to have the RN health coach and Lynn. However, we had some really rich conversation, and Patsy was on there. She was telling us about what she does and who she serves, who she is and who she serves. And she has made some phenomenal changes, some quality changes in her life. So, okay, Lynn, I added you. If you don't see that ad, Lynn, you can. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. She gave me a thumbs up. Okay. Lynn gave me a thumbs up. Okie dokie. Hi. Hey. Here we go. All right. I want to click here. Approve. Add. Okay. Thinking about it. Yay. Yay. Connecting. I think it was just my thing. Hey, Lynn. I think it was just my. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. So I'm going to go ahead. Thank you for being here. So and let you have the floor. And let you have the floor.
Okay. Do you want to let me know if, while I'm talking, if anybody has any questions, okay. I'll be happy to answer those questions. But like you had wrapped or talked about what you guys have been doing in previous weeks, which has been absolutely fantastic. First of all, I'll introduce myself. It says Lynn, but my first name is really Elmira. I'm Elmira Hinton, the RN health coach. And Rachel and I are accountability partners and friends. And I am so honored to come and speak to you guys today about getting healthy. That is somewhat my mantra, is getting healthy and losing weight. Because there are many times and there are many diets out there that get you to lose weight. And my diets work, and they will get you to lose weight.
It sounds like there's static. It sounds like there's static.
Is that better? Okay.
There we go. It's gone.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes, it is. And a lot of diets tout getting losing weight. And losing weight doesn't necessarily mean that you're healthy. And what I always like to talk to people about is getting healthy and losing weight, because then you can get all the systems of your body working together to support you in your weight loss goals. And getting healthy is so much more important than just losing weight. It's extremely important because you want to live longer and not just lose weight. And you want to correct those problems that had you put the weight on in the first place. And a lot of times I talk about there's actually 6 hormones in your body that can help you to lose weight, but there's 3 very powerful hormones in your body that help you put weight on. And so you need to be aware of those so that you can take corrective action so that you can stay in fat burning. And a lot of times what people think about hormones, they always think about estrogen. And it's estrogen is a hormone, and it is a very powerful hormone, and it is a very powerful fat storing hormone. But all women, we have estrogen in our bodies, but it needs to be, our bodies strive to be in balance. And sometimes your estrogen can get out of balance because of some of the foods that we eat. There are some processed foods, particularly foods that aren't organic, that have been sprayed with chemicals. They have things in them that mimic estrogen. So when you eat them, your body thinks, oh, there's more estrogen, and they start acting like the estrogen that we produce naturally. And so you start storing more fat. So you have to be very, very careful about what you put in your body, because those foods that can mimic estrogen, or foods particularly that have been sprayed with things like pesticides and things like that, they actually mimic what estrogen does. And so it's very scary that it can do that. Soy is a big GMO food, and it gets sprayed a lot. And so when you eat soy, you can mimic your own estrogen and cause you to gain weight. The other big hormone I want to mention, pardon the pun, the other main hormone I want to mention that you hear a lot about is insulin, okay? Insulin's main job is to take what you eat and take it to the body to be used for energy. Okay, so when you eat, insulin comes out, says, ooh, the blood sugar's up. Let me bring it back down. Let me take whatever you've eaten and break it down into glucose and glucagon and have you use it in the muscles, or it'll store it in the liver. It's when we overeat the carbohydrates and keep our blood sugar up, is that when insulin goes, okay, now I got more. What am I going to do with it? Because if you're not up moving around, burning all of that, it goes, okay, now I got to store it. And that next storage mechanism is fat. So now most of us probably have at least a day's worth or more of energy all stored up that our body could go in and get and use. So unless you're, at your weight or below weight, you have extra energy to use. So that typically is not a problem here in the United States. So that's why you hear so much about these ketosis diets or these keto diets. I think back in 1997, it was called the Atkins diet, and now it's evolved, and you had the South Beach diet, and now it's evolved into keto. And healthy keto is a very, very good way of losing weight and getting your body to burn the extra fat that you have on. Because by you not taking in any carbs or sugars, your body then has to say, oh, I got to go into my bank account, my savings account, and pull that off and start using it. So that's what the whole big deal is with ketosis. It's trying to get your body, that since you don't take in any carbs from pastas, from breads, from pretzels, from pancakes, from donuts, since you're not taking in any carbohydrates, your body has to go and use the stored fat. And instead, you're eating lots of vegetables, you're eating lots of good fats, and having very little carbohydrates. But that's probably more than you ever wanted to know. But a lot of the things that you guys are already hitting on are very, very good. Another major hormone that causes you to gain weight is cortisol. And you get that influx when you're stressed. And so if you're not sleeping well, and we talk about boosting your metabolism, you think, oh, I got to get up and run around. That's good, but you got to get good sleep. It is so important that you get good sleep. And good sleep is defined at least 8 hours. 8 to 10 hours of sleep is what's considered really good sleep, uninterrupted deep sleep. And when you're sleeping, you're not eating, so insulin is quiet. So that major fat storing hormone is quiet, and we don't starve to death when we're sleeping. So you obviously that 8 or 10 hours you don't need to eat. So it is very, very important that you get good sleep, at least 8 hours. Because also when you're sleeping, a really strong fat burning hormone comes up, and
Oh,
that is
we have a
growth hormone.
question, Lynn.
And as we get older,
Oh, so
We have a
keto,
question,
I have a
Mhm.
question, and the question says,
So, keto, I have a question.
am I
And the
echoing?
question says, am I echoing?
Okay,
not right. No,
perfect.
not for
Okay.
me.
Okay, it says keto is no
Perfect.
sugar and no carbs.
Okay, it says
Question
keto
mark.
is no sugar and no carbs.
Mhm.
Question
What
mark.
about
That
if
is
you
correct.
can't do that if you have
It
an
is.
issue
What
with
about
your
if you
kidneys
you
and
can't do
kidney
that
stones?
if you have an issue with
I
your
thought keto
kidneys
was
and
bad for
kidney
kidneys.
stones? I
Is
thought
that
keto was
correct or
bad
not?
for kidneys.
No,
Is that correct or not?
it is not. Healthy keto is not bad for kidneys. Stones is a whole nother thing. You produce a lot of oxalates when you're one of the reasons why you get stones, and that can come from some foods and some vegetables and chocolates and things like that. So if you're someone that gets a lot of kidney stones, or have had bouts with them more than once, more than likely, you've been told to decrease on foods that have oxalates in them, because that is what helps produce the kidney stones. Lemon water can definitely help reduce the incidence of kidney stones. Healthy keto does not produce kidney stones. And when I say healthy keto, let me define that. That is at least 7 cups of vegetables per day. The average American only gets 1 to 2 cups of vegetables per day. So 7 cups of vegetables per day, and 2 of those 7 cups need to be cruciferous vegetables. That's like kale and spinach, those dark, bitter vegetables, broccoli, even cauliflower. So 2 cups of cruciferous vegetables, and that's in that 7 cups of vegetables per day. And you got to watch about how much you cook them too, because I don't. You put on, like you cook some vegetables and they're just dead when you get done. So there's no nutrition in them. So you can't overcook them, and don't put them in the microwave. If you microwave your vegetables, you're going to lose about 90% of the vitamins that are in them. And so, because the more heat that's applied to a vegetable, the more you're going to kill off the vitamins in there. So if you can, at least eat 50% of your vegetables raw. If you can. I love, cauliflower, carrots, broccoli, peppers, all those different colored peppers. You slice them up and snack on those, or that's on your plate. So keto is just meat and veggies. You say just, but that's a big part of the diet. And yes, and it's to really go deep on that, it would take quite a bit, because it's not just meat. You still need to be picky about the meat and the fish that you take in. I don't recommend, processed foods like bologna and things like that. You want quality meat, and preferably you want grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef produces a much better omega-3, whereas other beef, corn-fed beef, produce omega-6, which can cause inflammation because they're out of balance. So you want to be picky about the foods that you eat. So yes, it is. It's a lot of good meats, including fish, chicken, pork, lamb, all different varieties of meat, well seasoned. And your vegetables, and then you have to get your fat. So very important. You need your avocado, you need your grass-fed butters, your olive oil, all those things. Those fats are so important, so that one, your nervous system works properly, and two, you stay full. So that's really important in keto. So yeah, people say, "Oh, it's just eating meat." No, you got to be picky. You need to get your vegetables in, and you need to get your fats in.
So the question is there a website or reference we can
So
use
the
to
question
look up healthy
is there a
keto?
website or
Also,
reference we can
Jennifer,
use to look up healthy
Lynn
keto?
is going to put her
Also, Jennifer,
information here.
Lynn
I asked
is
her she would
going
put her
to put her
information here
information
in case you
here.
all,
I
which
asked
I
her she would put her
figured you may want
information
to
here.
contact her.
Okay, you all, which I figured
But you can answer it, Lynn. I'm gonna go get my earphone. Seems like there's an
But
echo.
you can answer it, Lynn. I'm gonna go get my earphones. Seems like there's an echo.
Okay. There's a lot of information on the web, and one person that I think there's a couple of people I think do a really, really good job of it. And I think his name is Dr. Thomas Lauer. He's a muscle built guy, and he does a lot of good stuff on YouTube about healthy keto. He does an excellent job about it, about talking about that. So that's a really good reference for you. You really want to make sure. And Dr. Berg, he has a ton of videos out there about healthy keto and what your macros are, because you want to. You always want to make sure that you're getting your fats in as well as your meats and your vegetables. I think another thing you guys were doing, you were exercising. And like I told Rachel, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on that and challenge you a bit. It's wonderful that you're exercising, but you also want to monitor where you're at with your exercising to be sure that you're progressing on a regular basis. It has been highly recommended by the healthy people, I think it was like 2000 or 2010, that we get, now hang on, 10,000 steps a day. That's 5 miles. 10,000 steps a day. And they said that helps significantly reduce your risk for heart issues as well as diabetes, because your body is up and moving around. And, nowadays, I mean, just like me, I'm working at a desk a lot. So you really got to be aware of how much you're sitting, because sitting is almost the new smoking. And if you're up and moving around, you want to make sure, measure what foods can't you eat on keto? Breads, pastas, rice, just about anything baked and stuff with flour and sugar in it, because that will cause you to go out of ketosis. But the exercise thing is just so important to measure where you're at. Now, you're not going to get to 10,000 steps get out tomorrow. Now, you could, but you're going to be a little sore. My daughter works at a grocery store called Hy-Vee, and every time we do on these apps on your smart watches and stuff, they have these apps that you can join together and see how many steps everybody's walking and do challenges. And we kind of have a lot of fun with that when I was working at the hospital, and my husband was too. I mean, they were putting in 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 steps a day. And it was embarrassing. I mean, I had to actually park my car farther away so I could get more steps in. But it makes you conscious about that. So all of us have these smartphones, and some of them have apps on them because we have them with us all the time. So you can have it monitor your steps. But it's always good to know where you're at, like right now with your steps, and to strive every day or every week to get another 1,000 or 2 in. And strategies like parking your car farther away from the door when you go to the grocery store, the mall, or something like that, so you can get steps in. One friend of mine, we were having a challenge about getting 10,000 steps. When she goes to the grocery store, she goes in the store, does a loop or two around the store before she starts picking out her groceries to get her steps in. Yeah. I had one unit was farther away than the other, and I made sure that I always walked to that unit at least 3 times a day, because it was so far away in the hospital that it really helped me to get my 10,000 steps in. And like I say, and parking my car farther away. So all those little tips like that to help increase your walking. And Rachel was so good in telling you about getting your heart rate up. So you want to get your heart rate up, and you want to maintain it up at that level for 20 minutes. And as a nurse and a coach, I have to say, you always need to check with your physician or your healthcare provider that is appropriate for you, okay? You don't want anybody passing out and them going to say, hey, Lynn, you made me walk and I passed out. So Don't want you doing any of that. So make sure that, everything you do, and, the information that I give is informational, it's educational, and it's to help you make good decisions and take responsibility for your health. My big mantra is I want to rid people of pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. And after being a nurse for over 35 years in the hospital, I actually feel bad about all the insulin that I gave when I was a nurse. And that we just mainly patched people up and sent them on. Their diets really talked about, controlling it and making sure they took enough insulin to go with the carbs that they were taking, instead of really telling them ways to heal themselves by, there is no dietary recommendation that says you have to have any carbs per day. So why are we telling people who are having issues with taking care of their carbs, encouraging them to eat any carbs at all? Because, once you've gotten so far, you've gotten into insulin resistance, and that's because we eat all the time. These other diets that say, oh, you get your metabolism up by eating every 2 hours because that stimulates things. That is not a good idea, because you're stimulating insulin all the time. Even if it's a
we have a question, Lynn.
Oh, this is the craving question.
They wanted to know, this is the craving question.
They crave something sweet.
About after they eat a meal, they crave something sweet. Does that mean I have a sugar dip or excess somewhere?
How to work?
Is there anything tips
with that?
On how to work with that?
I'm glad they brought Rachel mentioned that. So if you're craving sweets after a meal, typically what that means is you don't have enough potassium. And you get potassium by eating 7 cups of dark leafy green vegetables a day. And so it's just all connected. What our bodies need is right there. And it's the vegetables. It means you're not eating enough vegetables because you're not getting the potassium that you need. And so your body says, okay, I'm going to make her crave, something sweet because potassium and sugar go together. Your body can't store the glucose without potassium being present. So you wind up getting your craving winds up getting a little confused, and they'll say, give me something sweet instead. But what you really need is potassium, because they go hand in hand in your body as far as how they're metabolized. There aren't a lot of supplements on the market that do very much with potassium, because it's in really high quantities. It's very dangerous. It can throw your heart out of rhythm if you take too much. Now, can we do that? No. From eating vegetables? No. As long as you have good working kidneys and you're not on dialysis, it's not a problem. Just so you know, I used to be a dialysis nurse too. I managed a program for 7 years. And so that's why when I tell people they need to eat more potassium, it's actually kind of scary. But really, the potassium that's in foods, it's not a whole lot. And the reason why we have to eat so many vegetables is because the soil is not nutrient dense like it used to be. The soil, when farmers put their plants in, they're not replenishing the minerals in the soil. So that's why when you eat different foods, vegetables and stuff, you go, this isn't as sweet as it used to be, or this doesn't taste as good as it used to. That's because our soils are not being replenished. So now, it used to be 3 to 4 cups of vegetables. Now they're recommending 7 cups of vegetables a day, just to get the same nutrient that we may have gotten, that we may have grew up with. And I'm assuming I shouldn't assume everybody's my age, that we grew up with, 30 years ago. So the soil isn't as rich as it used to be. So you need to eat more vegetables. Very, very important. Get that kale in. I use a lot of baby kale, because other kale, organic, yes, Patsy, organic is very important. Organic means no pesticides, and it's not GMO. When something is GMO, genetically modified organism, usually it's been made GMO so that it can survive the pesticides. So the pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides that they need to spray on the plant so that they get a good yield, so that the little creatures don't eat them and the bugs don't eat them. They want to be able to spray. So they make them resistant to the pesticide. So that's why you emphasize non-GMO foods, because they they don't GMO foods to make them taste better or last longer. They make genetically modified foods so that they can survive the pesticides. And I know organic is more expensive, but even if you can go 50% organic, that's better than not being able to eat any organic at all. And if you can find
non-GMO what else did you say?
Grass-fed beef.
Non-GMO food.
Right, non-GMO foods. If something's GMO, they're not necessarily always required to label it. But one big food that is GMO that's used a lot is soy. And you think, oh, I don't eat any tofu or anything like that. But they use soy in different products. Like the other day, made me so mad. I was at Aldi's and I saw some low carb bars, you know. So I'm like, oh, this will be great. There was strawberry and something else. And I got home and read the label, and I usually read the label when I'm there in the store. The first ingredient, it said soy. I was so mad. So that meant it's GMO. So it's not, I was like, I got to throw these away. I'm not going to eat these things. So you're really, if you're a tofu eater, unless you're eating it fermented, it's probably GMO and it's been sprayed. So not a good thing. So as frequently as you can, non-GMO. I think we talked about fluids too, Rach. You said you guys were drinking, so I'm glad you're drinking water. Hopefully you're getting rid of soda out of your, those sugary sodas and even diet sodas. They're not good for you. The carbonation and the things in them can actually do things to your bones. So as far as you're not absorbing calcium as well, but the sugary sodas are horrendous. What the heck is tofu? It's something that people that are vegan eat. I don't care. Sometimes you'll see it in some Chinese foods. You'll see tofu and things like that, and it comes in different textures. Sometimes it's substituted for protein because it is high protein, but it's made out of soy and it's GMO. But no orange juice, no grape juice, no apple juice, no pineapple juice. Those juices are concentrated, and I'd rather see you, if you're not going to do keto, eat the fruit than drink a big glass of juice, because all you're getting is a big influx of sugar. And the sugar is called fructose that you're getting a big influx of. And that's not even a sugar that the body can use directly. It has to go through the liver and be broken down in order to be used, similar to alcohol. And so it's not taken in large quantities like that, it's not very good for you. So get rid of those juices, not just for adults, but for kids also. It rots your teeth. It's just not good for them. So get rid of those juices and substituting water. And if you want to I put lemon in water all the time. I love lemon and limes in my water. Sometimes I'll use cucumbers. It's so refreshing to put cucumbers in. Yes, it is. And in Japan, I'm not sure if it's GMO, but here in the United States, it is. Probably 99% in there. You can also do fruit-infused waters. You get one of those things that has a long, and you can fill it full of frozen fruit and stick it in your water, and it kind of gives some flavor to your water. Now, of course, nobody expects you, if you're drinking 2 or 3 cans of sodas a day, to go cold turkey. But if you can, I really would, because they're not serving you any purpose whatsoever. Yes, lemon is amazing. Limes are amazing. I love them both also. So just some extra little tips there about getting healthy. Additives, somebody mentioned the Japan thing. They put MSG a lot in their food. And so MSG is something else you'd want to stay away from. It doesn't serve you. It actually enhances your taste buds to want more. And that's the purpose of MSG. And besides that, it's a tenderizer. And when it gets in your gut, it'll tenderize your stomach too. So it's something you'd want to stay away from. And it's in a lot of things. So you want to look for
Lynn, we had a question. Can you help with some keto diet? Lynn, we had a question. Can you help with some keto diet menu that they can make in just a few minutes so they won't be tempted to eat those fast foods?
Yeah, that's so important. That is so, so important, is to be prepared, to get your kitchen ready, to get those cookies, crackers, pastas out of your kitchen so that you're not there, and to have good quality cheeses, quality meats, pickles, olives. I have all that in my refrigerator. So if I go, oh my goodness, I gotta have something. I have olive stuff with garlic. I have olive stuff with jalapenos. I have olive stuff with blue cheese. Things like that. Lettuce wraps. I'll put ham and a good quality mayo. So look at your mayos, because when you look at your mayonnaise, you'll see it'll say soy oils in it. You want to try and get a mayo that's made out of avocado or safflower oil. So you can put that, and that's a good fat. And you can load up some avocados and some ham or turkey and bake it. But watch your bacon. You want to get nitrate-free bacon. And you can roll all that up, and you can have a fantastic sandwich. You can do the same thing with the salad, a bed of lettuce, and put your favorite chicken on top of there, whether it's been grilled. This time of year, you guys in Texas get to grill all the time. It just got warm here, so we just turned on our grill here in Iowa. So, yeah, you grill your meats and just have those things ready, because you can grab some lettuce or a bed of something and a meat and put it together and sprinkle some cheese on it, and you got yourself a meal. The other day we had stuffed peppers. I took some grass-fed hamburger meat, and from my co-op, I got some taco seasoning that doesn't have maltodextrin in it. That's it's a powder that they use in it to make the life of things last longer, but it has an effect on your body just like sugar. So anyway, I went to the co-op and I got some of that, made a big thing of this taco meat, and I stuffed it in peppers, red peppers, green peppers. They're attractive. So, it was a really fun thing to eat. It was really, really good. We do the same thing with zucchini. Cut a zucchini down, core it out, and just fill it with meat. You cook it and put some cheese on top of it. So yeah, we go through a lot of recipes in my groups, and it's a lot of fun because you can come up with some amazing things. When people get together and start looking up recipes, it's just crazy. I was trying to think.
One thing I've tried, because sometimes so I've made kale chips. And so I've made kale chips. They have a feel that need.
Yeah.
And they have a feel that need.
You just rub those with some olive oil, and you sprinkle a little salt on them, and you put them in the oven at about 200 or 250, then wait, a half hour, depending on how many you got. And those are really good. Yeah, kale chips. That's an excellent way to get your kale in. Kale is such a healing food. You need to try and get kale in any way you can, because it's such a healing food from absolutely spiralized zucchini noodles. Yep. We had that one night last week, and we take your tomato sauce instead of your spaghetti sauce with your hamburger or whatever, and instead of using pasta, we use zucchini noodles. My husband has a really bad gluten allergy, so we try and think of different ways. Or spaghetti squash, that big yellow squash. When you bake it, if you scrape it like you do with a fork, it'll look like spaghetti. And you can put a sauce on that, or Alfredo sauce, or a red sauce on that, and you have a tremendous low-carb meal and a vegetable all at the same time. So it's really, really great. The other thing about keto that's so much that my husband particularly likes is that eggs. If you can get good organic eggs, you can have at least 2 to 4 in the morning for breakfast, any way you want. You can make yourself an omelet out of them. Throw some leftover spinach or asparagus or peppers and cheese. You can have a tremendous omelet. You can put chopped ham in it, chopped turkey, bacon. Again, I say bacon. You can have a wonderful omelet in the morning. There's just no end to what you can do, especially when you can have eggs. And eggs, again, you can make a great big batch of tuna salad with eggs and, just really, your chopped celery and your onion, you season it. You don't want to go without seasoning because you don't want to feel deprived and not have that flavor that you want in your food. So you just got to read the labels of your seasonings and make sure that they don't include anything that you don't expect in them.
This has been fantastic. The only other metabolism. I think was the metabolism.
Okay. So you guys have really gone over a lot of the 5. The big one was sleeping, is that you want to make sure that you're getting your sleep, getting adequate water. And remember, don't go overboard with the water, because if you go overboard, you take away the electrolytes out of your body. So you want to make sure you're replacing them. So that's, again, with the vegetables, you're adding some salt or taking a sea kelp tablet. I actually take one of those to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes. But that water drinking is very, very good. Getting up and moving your body is that other part of increasing your metabolism. Cutting out those sugary drinks, because you're not waking up insulin anymore when you're doing that. So actually decreasing your carbs is another way of supporting your metabolism. So you guys have already started doing all those things already, which is fantastic. You just want to turn them up a notch. I mean, you've been doing this almost, has it been a week or 2 weeks? It's been a week?
We're on our 3rd week.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you guys can really turn it up a notch. And the other thing is decreasing stress. You always want to manage your stress. And a lot of times in my groups, I don't have people start exercising the first week, just because it can be too stressful. And I don't want to add stress on to people, because we're making changes with their foods and, and doing all that. So sometimes I'll wait at least a week or 2 before we add an exercise. And if someone's really stressed, I'll have them just walk. Walking to relax and to think is absolutely fantastic. Meditation is the other thing, just sitting quiet and getting your mind quiet. That is a chore. I had such a hard time with that myself. I do yoga about 3 times a week, and we have, you always start out, you're going quiet. You want to quiet your mind so you can pay attention to the instructor, and then boom, oh, you got to go to the grocery store. Oh, boom, you need to go look at your Facebook ad. It was always something. So you got to quiet your mind. You got to say, no, I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm here. I just want to quiet my mind. So you can have an opportunity to de-stress. So walking is wonderful activity for walking either alone or walking your dog or walking with a friend. Tremendous opportunity to de-stress. And again, you're decreasing cortisol and you're increasing your metabolism. So you guys have really already singing. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that turns it for you. Absolutely. I wish I could sing. Nobody would want to hear me sing if I sung. But that's fantastic. So that is just, so those are some of the top things that you can do to really kickstart your metabolism and to get it rolling. The big thing, yes, getting rid of the stress, getting the sleep, getting the fluids in, getting the veggies in. All those things hugely important in increasing your metabolism. Because as we get older, it just gets a little
thank
slower.
You for everything. Now, can you give them information on how they can contact you or reach out to you for further information or working with you?
At the RN Health Coach, that's me. You'll see my picture on there. And it's just the RN Health Coach. And I think Facebook has it set. It's like just a little @ symbol, the RN Health Coach. And you should see my face if you go over there. Message me, inbox me, or you can go to my website, www.thernhealthcoach.com. There is a comment page there, and you can send a comment there to me if you have questions. Or if you want to have a free 30-minute discovery session about your getting healthy. It is so very, very important that you make that choice starting today, tonight, to get healthy. One other thing I wanted to mention, if we have time, were there any other cravings people had besides the sweets? Were there any no other cravings?
No.
The other thing that you hear a lot with ketosis is intermittent fasting. And fasting doesn't mean that you have to go days without eating. You can start out simply by at 7 o'clock at night, you're not going to eat anymore until tomorrow morning. That's a fast, okay? Or not eating between meals. If you say, I'm going to eat my breakfast at 7 or 8, then I'm not going to eat again till noon, that's a fast. So if you've not ever fasted before, to start fasting, you can just pick a time period that you're not going to eat. And ideally, you don't want to eat in between meals, and you want to stop eating after a certain time at night, like 7 or 8 o'clock. And that will be, that can be your fast. And then you can move on to 12, 14, 16, 18-hour fast. And that definitely helps boost your metabolism, and you burn all your excess glucose that way. Okay. I just wanted to get that in quick. I'm not going to take up any more of your time.
Us, Lynn, okay. So much of what you said was absolutely valuable. They have all thoroughly enjoyed it. And we'll be sure to put your link in the notes. And we'll be sure to put your link in the notes. And as we did before, we typically type up all the information, and then we post it so that they have a lot of the bullet points that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lynn. We appreciate it. This is Lynn. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lynn. We appreciate it. This is Lynn, the RN Health Coach. Thanks, Lynn. Have a good night. Okay, thanks, Lynn. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay, ladies, so that is it for us tonight. What I'm going to do, like I said, for next week is I'm going to wrap up Operation Healthy Body. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you found value with being part of this community. And one of the great things of having someone who, is a coach and able to kind of guide you through the journey is just having access to these different experts. So I know I'd had a few people, at least Jennifer and myself, who had cravings. And then I thought it would be really good, since we began our exercising, to go a little deeper with our healthy eating. So if you want more ideas like on the keto and what have you, Lynn definitely has those available for you at her website, as well as a lot of times she also has different challenges, and within the challenges they post like different recipes and different foods. So part of my goal as the Elevated Possibilities Coach is to do just that, to elevate the possibilities in our life: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit. So of course, Operation Healthy Body was not about going on a diet and just losing weight. It was truly about getting healthy. And so she's given us some great tips for tonight. We know that part of our getting healthy is also making sure we have a healthy mindset, and that we're able to shift our thinking around all aspects of our life. And Jennifer was asking, she said, make sure I can sign up for the next session. So I'll let you guys know next week what it looks like for the next session. The next session will be investment. You'll make the decision if you want to make a self-investment to be part of the next group, which will be Healthy Mind and Healthy Spirit. And so the same thing we've gotten here, I will be doing some teachings myself, as well as giving resources and strategies. And then I'll have different experts that will come on and also be able to give you additional resources and strategies. And more than anything, just encouragement, to know that we're not doing this alone, that we're all in this together. And although everyone's at different places in their life, they've joined the group for different reasons, the need for the accountability is still the same. And as women, when we rally around each other and empower each other, there's no limits to what we can do. So I want you guys to have an amazing night tonight. Jennifer said, Operation Healthy Body has helped me a ton. So much info. Excellent. And Minerva said, thank you, Coach Lynn, for today. It was nice having you. Yes, we absolutely enjoyed her. So again, I'll be sure to get that information out to you guys, what it'll look like for next week, what it'll look like, not next week, because next week we'll wrap up, but I'll get the information out to you of when we'll start the next session of Healthy Mind and Healthy Spirit, and what that investment would look like. But I just appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being engaged. And again, if you have not had a chance to post your workout, make sure you go back and post your workout, just to help yourself be accountable. And if you haven't had a chance to look at Jennifer's post about the journey journal, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved her journey journal.
Night hop mama. Okay, good night. All right, guys. So that's enough for me. Thank you again so much for being here. And I'll see you guys back. Oh, and don't forget. So this week we have another week of 3 days of elevating your heart rate. And as Lynn said, we need to do it for at least 20 minutes. So we're going to go a little bit deeper, and we've already been doing our 3 days a week. So with your 3 days a week, make sure you get at least 20 minutes in, as well as if you have the stepper, you can see if you're getting the 10,000 steps, a day. So either one of those, but we'll do the same thing. We'll post on Saturday. We'll post in saying how far we've gotten, and we're going to keep each other encouraged and keep each other uplifted. So you guys have a great night, and I'll see you later. Remember, map it, make a positive impact today. So till next time, that's it for Operation Healthy Body. Bye, ladies.